Hello everyone. Back to show this the work on this Perses CV2 carrier. This is probably the last installment of looking at this ship. A lot has been done since the last video. And to start with, I'll just kind of go over the body here so you can kind of take a look at what it ended up looking like as a whole. I made quite a few other changes, minor changes to the body, I would say. One of those is the front feet. I reworked them a little bit again, and this had to do with an issue. When I first installed them, they were a block further in, and after I added these new big thrusters right over here, it was actually coming down where the thruster was going to hit the inner side of the feet. So I moved the feet out and kind of changed their style a little bit. Got a couple more curvy blocks in there, and I do like them better now. I think they fit a little bit better with the one block wider stance. I think it cosmetically looks a little bit better too. Another change to the body, and this was something I mentioned in a past video, that I wanted to clean up the area in the back here where the thrusters connect. That has been done now. So it's pretty much set on the entire body part of the ship. I don't foresee too many more changes. Now I'm going to do like a final detail inspection on this before I do release it. Walk through everything, check out air, check out functionality of the ship. I did test fly the ship quite a bit with the dual T2 generators in it. It is doing great on power, and I don't think there's going to be any kind of power issues even with the shield generator installed. So that's kind of where this is at now. Now what I want to do is show you the interior. There's a lot of revamped new parts to the interior, and I want to do it at night because, of course, as when doing this, there was a patch out that added volumetric lighting, and yeah, really like that. Hats off to Elion for making something really cool. That is cool. So here, let me adjust the time of day it is. We're gonna look at this at night, and I'm gonna just take a walk through on foot. So a lot of this lower section here, I didn't change this yet. I still haven't added a couple more parts. I'm playing the size class game, and what I'm at right now is 10.02, and it's kind of like a give and take. So I've been going through areas, and I've been trying to find ways to reduce the size class and then add in more stuff to increase the size class again. It's been but I guess my target goal is I'm trying to get this at a final spec at 10 even. So I'm like 0.2 over, and I want to add some more parts yet. But there's ways to reduce the size class, and I'll show you that at the end of the video on what I'm looking at. I got some of the signs in, quite a few of them. These are the new sign design. I don't have the upper levels set with new signs yet, so I got to do that yet as well. I got a couple signs in here. I guess I don't. And some of the signs, like I had a sign here and a sign over here, and I keep on going through my head on whether I should even keep these two side doors or not. They're not functionally doing anything, and I don't really want to put more LCDs above them to tell you that you're going to the hangar, which the center door actually does. So getting into the hangar, this area is, I would say, pretty much done now. I wanted to add in a crafting power switch yet, and possibly an ammo requirement LCD. But as you can see, the new lights and their and how they look, it's pretty neat at this point in time. Get that effect going on. Now another thing I did do in the hangar is I rebuilt this wall again. I didn't like the flow of it before, So it has changed now and it's a little bit more straight, but it's got more of a flow to it getting into the rest of the ship. Actually, really should fly around. Now it has the new hangar floor installed, and yeah, I kind of like it. I used the ideas behind what I did with the waypoint hangar on the floor of this hangar to give it a different look than what it used to have. It's darker, but I think with the little bit lighter other areas, well, the original ship actually was fairly white on the hangar anyway. But really like how this came out, and having these inset cargo storage boxes over here I thought was really neat too. Now it's really starting to pop with having the dark floor and the lighter walkways. And with that little lip there, it almost kind of looks like this is like a separate piece that fits over a floor. So I really liked how that came out. And on this part here, I dressed it up a little bit on the top. Got our O2, a little bit dark, I guess, but I was just trying to show off the lights right now. I'll kick up the daytime again to show you what this looks like actually at that time. Now I got this targeted spotlight right here, which actually beams right down at the repair bay in the middle. So I thought that was kind of neat, kind of getting that brighter. I'll probably have that tied to the repair and crafting power switch that I plan on adding, so this won't be on all the time unless you have your stuff on. These top areas, I kind of textured these out a little bit as well, and just some fluff up there, but there's a lot of room up here. I mean, a lot of room to put stuff. And I got other places around the ship for that as well. So beyond the hangar here, let's get back God mode. Let's tour the next room with the volumetric lighting, and that would be the engineering section. It does look different in the day, I gotta say. It's got a different look both ways. So I already showed this engineering area before, but it's kind of neat to see it with the lighting how it is now. And I did tweak out the lights a bit. I got a new light over here by the gravity generator, and tweaked out a couple of the intensities and radius of the other lights in the back area. This hallway here used to be 1 block wide. It's actually 2 blocks wide. Not that it goes to anything useful, but just a little bit more room there. So here, let me get out of here. We'll go up to the next floor of the farm level. Farm with the volumetric lighting, I think, looks really, really nice as well. Well, actually, all the areas with the new lighting, I think, look nice. So that's just that's pretty cool. As you can see, I got some old signs in here. All the yellow signs or the other ones are old at this point in time. I think I'm just going to go with my standard orange theme across the board. Might do something a little fancier getting into the lounge. So tour into the side room here, which is new to this model ship. Again, lighting looks pretty neat, I think. Love that effect there, overlooking the generators and whatnot. Oh, let me get out of here again. Go take a look at the lounge. One thing I did do, the original ship, I had the same overlook over the engineering area as you see right in front of you, but of course the windows were tinted and the lights would not come on when you got near, so you couldn't really see much unless it was daytime or whatnot. So I changed the sensor around a little bit, so now when you get close to this window, it actually illuminates the engineering area, and the windows are also clear tinted, so you can see down in there better now. I thought that was just a neat little thing. Didn't cost anything to do. So up into the lounge. Of course, you can look into this other room again. And I've walked through all these areas already, so this isn't the new part yet. But it's just kind of taking a look at what the lighting looks like and things like that. And we're at night. I mean, this is nighttime outside right now, so I like how it looks. I mean, it's got that little bit of a hazy look, but I feel it's more immersive than it probably ever was. And these lights have a big thing to do with that. And off to this room here. Now I did remove the fuel tanks I had over here and just kind of freed up that space. I figure if you want to add in some more, you can. But nothing else really changed in this room. Of course, there was a patch though, and like with these fuel tanks, they do line up correctly now. So bonus, no more crooked fuel tanks. Awesome. And that actually happened the very next day too. I mean, it was like, oh hey, they're fixed already. That's cool. Very happy about that one. Okay, so now from the farm, moving out of here, let's walk up this walkway that used to be here. It still is. And this gets us up into the lower flight deck area. And this area had a big refurbishing to it. It's same layout, same parts, same everything else, but it's got new lighting, new texturing. I changed a few blocks around, got a little bit smoother angles in places, reworked some other things. Of course, there's no shield generator back here that there used to be. I'm sorry, gravity generator, and so yeah, there's just more room to put stuff over here now too. Let's go check out the med bay up front here. A couple things with lights too, like when you start to walk down this path, a light will kick on, and it's kind of neat that way. So kind of geared that so when you're walking around the ship, lights kick on where you are at, and try to do it a little bit in advance before you actually get there. So, and then in the revised med bay, if you remember before, I had the air kind of hanging out a block from the wall. I modified the exterior of the ship a little bit to accommodate it, recessing it into the wall now, and changed the lighting, added some curved blocks here and there, and just went with a like a gray light in here, and nice clean look. And you know, it's a medical bay, you'd expect it to have a clean look. Now most of the ship does have that similar clean look to it. I kind of like it. It looks more modern, things like that. So like going up to this next floor here, there's a little bit of changes done here, not a lot. The RCS that used to be sitting here are no longer there. Great place to add some fuel tanks or some other pieces if you did want to though. And then up into the bridge. Again, the signs are not done up here yet, but this area also got cleaned up and retextured a little bit, and a few block changes again. And I did extend this elevator so it goes up actually to like a ceiling now. It used to kind of stop at the floor, but I find it nicer if you can just like go right to the top and then walk out. So that's kind of what I was thinking there. Used to have a wall right here due to the fact that you don't need a clone generator anywhere, or a clone a clone chamber. I moved the parts to the sides and got rid of the center area, made the window a little bit bigger and whatnot. But man, those lights, I just, you know, wherever you go, lights look pretty awesome. There, I'm going to kick on light again so we can see this in the daytime. As you can see, it's a little bit cleaner look. Color-wise changed a little bit. A lot of little tweaks, and all these upper floors got a lot of little tweaks. Nothing major, no layout changes, just tweaks. And this is what this area is looking like now. Here. And let's get back down to the hangar. So the hangar in the daytime looks like this now. And I do like the changes I made to the side wall. That was the one hang up I had before, is I didn't like exactly what I was doing. I had some new blocks, and I think I was just doing stuff because I wanted to use new blocks, and I wasn't really looking at the full flow of how the walls all connect and things like that. But I think that this new setup, I think, looks pretty decent now. And yeah, with the hangar floor in place. One last thing I forgot to show you, the bottom of the ship has been kind of redone as well. And it's got a lot more complexities on the bottom with little breakups and changes and other things like that. So, doing all right. And that is pretty much where it sits at this time. The only things that are left to do are rigging some switches, a bunch of LCDs I still want to refurbish, especially on the upper levels, and may add in a couple more fuel tanks yet. My stock, I believe this has 19 currently, so I might get it up to like 20, 21 to 24-ish. We'll see. Kind of depends on the size class. Now, I'm not really worried about it. I can technically go up to 10.49 before it actually becomes size class 11, but I got this goal where I'd like to keep it at size class 10 even, which would be really cool. So a little bit of a balancing game. And let me just show you something too. On the bottom here, I used this new block, which is like a flat surface on one side and round on the other side. Now, I was really excited about this block because I had a lot of practical uses for it, like what it's doing right now. Looking like there's a pipe there, but you got a solid floor on top of it. Useful for doing decoration and things like that. Problem being is these blocks suck up size class like you would not believe. Like, for instance, I've got only, there's 4 on this side and there's 4 on the other side. And I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to blow those blocks out and replace them with just a regular block to show you what the difference is. Now, just verifying before I do this, we are at 10.02 on size class. If I take out that, and say we just replace it with a standard block, doesn't make that much of a visual difference, especially on the bottom side that you're not going to see as much anyway. But, so we took out 8 of those blocks and replaced them with full blocks. Now we're at 995. It's amazing how much size class those blocks suck up. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why either. It's jumping it up. I could add in a bunch of fuel tanks and real parts for what those 8 blocks cost. So this is when I say I'm like give and take on size class, trying to balance it out to 10, take some from some places so I can add in more other places. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. And it has to do with the blocks, not the parts. Kind of sucks because I would really like to use more of those blocks, but it's ridiculous on how expensive they are towards size class. So I can't, unfortunately. Even in the farm, I wanted to get some of those blocks in. In fact, I did have them over here rather than these solid blocks. I used the rounding ones, which I thought looked a little better, but it just ramped the size class up ridiculously. So I had to remove them and put in regular blocks again. Kind of wish that wasn't the case. I don't know what it is with those. Other like wall indention blocks, I used a couple over here, but these things are expensive as all get up to. Just little stuff like that. It doesn't make that much of a visual difference, but the size class ramps so badly because of using them, that I just, you know, on a bigger build like this, where I'm trying to tame the size class, they're just not practical to use. I still have 2 more of those roundy blocks on, well actually 6 more on the back here. And again, we're at 995. If I were to simply blow these out and replace again with like a standard block, or even any of these, most of these wedge-shaped blocks, now we're at 990. So I mean, you're seeing it drop, you know, quite a bit with hardly anything going on except replacing a block, and not that many of them. So that is where it sits. I plan on getting this finished up this weekend, with all the little extra bells and whistles I was thinking about, and a couple oversights too. Like, I now realize that I blew away 2 spotlights that were shining down from the hangar, which would illuminate the area over here. I don't have those in place anymore after I redid the sidewall of the ship. So I would like to get at least one of those back in, maybe both. And other than that, I think everything else stayed pretty much how it was. All the sensors are in place now across the ship, lighting's in place. That's pretty much it. Just a whole bunch of LCD work and some rigging of switches and things like that, and probably another couple hours on that, and I'll have that done. And then a final inspection, detail, flight trials, I guess, and see if there's anything screwed up, and we'll go from there. Now, one other last thing I'm going to have to deal with, and I want to show you. I've excuse me. I've complained about this a lot of times. You notice how all the lines across the ship are pretty square. You don't see too much jaggies going on. I try to leave some of these lines, but a lot of them are smooth, and they're pretty much all aligned across the ship. So what happens if I respawn the ship? So this here, just to show you that it's the exact same thing, I'm going to first resave this ship. What do we call this? We're here. Okay, so we just updated that very blueprint with exactly what you had over there. I'm going to spawn it, and we're going to take a look at the body again. It's going to make a liar out of me now, I swear. Look at that. They did screw up. No, it looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? This is defying all logic. Did they fix this? Is it not the case anymore? Do the textures stay aligned how they were? That would be like the greatest thing since sliced bread, I think. Hold on. I don't quite believe this. I'm going to spawn it at a different angle. Huh. Well, I'm really happy. Sorry about that, but in the past, every time I would do something like this, the textures would change on this metal texture. I'd get all those angled liney pieces in there and things like that, and it would just screw up. So I'd have to keep on blowing out more textures and cleaning them up until there was hardly any left in the end. And it was the only way they would stay tight and looking nice. But it's not doing it. It made a liar out of me, and I'm happy for that. I really am happy for that. My goodness. Now, it was one of those things that I was dreading. I'm like, man, it's going to all screw up again. It's going to look like crap again. And I'm going to have to go fix it all again until you fix it so much that it's practically completely smooth. But it didn't happen. So, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, anyway, that is what I wanted to do for this video. And I don't exactly know when I'm going to release this. Probably not this weekend, but probably next week, I do believe. I'm going to get this out. I don't know exactly when the official live version of Alpha 10 is coming out. If I do release this before that time, and we'll have to put in a note in the description that this only works with the experimental version of the game. Will not spawn in an Alpha 9 game, of course, because of all the new stuff in it. Well, okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks a lot. I appreciate all the comments again, and yep, you all have a good day. See you later.